beach is mine. I can bathe here anytime. No matter what you say, I'm going to bathe here anyway. Over my dead body, this beach is mine. That is what people power means. Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome to Global Television. It is your At a Glance program. Bagamout, Jamaicans. Sort them out. Empty barrel. This is how it is done. This is how people show their power and their ownership. Bagamout. The beach is mine, says the people of St. Lucia. What are you saying, Jamaicans? Buckle under the pressure. You know that part of your national pledge. In the service of my fellow citizens, I promise to stand up for justice, brotherhood, and peace, to work diligently and courageously. Oh, no, remember that or what it means. But only let the children recite it in school every morning without you, the people of Jamaica, being able to live up to it. Before God and all mankind, I pledge the love and loyalty of my heart. Are you serious? Bagamouts. Because all of these little national fancies, they just have become national bagamout. On a notice, these people, whenever them get on them podium, they always talk about fostering peace. But not once you ever heard them use the word justice in that sentence. But when more people arrive, I'm going to replay this video. And tell me what you've seen missing from that demonstration on the St. Lucian beach. That video, it is said, some white people buy that hotel on the beach and then decide to put up a sign, private beach. And the gracious people of St. Lucia, what they did was turn up there with sound and everything. And that's where they had their party. Good morning to everyone on the X, on Twitch, Facebook, on YouTube. Good morning and welcome. Good morning to my community of parity. Good morning to all my family members. Good morning to all my moderators. Good morning to all my platform members, subscribers, supporters, viewers. Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome. Sunshine, good morning, good afternoon. Natalia Freeman, Anthony R, good morning, good afternoon. Evan Johnson, good morning, good afternoon. Annie Smith, good morning, good afternoon. Marcia S.E., good morning, good afternoon. Maxine Cummins, good morning, good afternoon. Cousin Marina, how you do? How you do? Morning, wagwan. Jason Kane, big up, wagwan. Marcia Stewart, morning, good afternoon. James, good morning, good afternoon. Untaped Congal, good morning, good afternoon. Carleen Humphreys, good morning, good afternoon. Lorna Emery, in a circle, EM, good morning, good afternoon. Violet Watson. Audrey Robinson, good morning, good afternoon. Georgia Dennis, good morning, good afternoon. In a circle. Good morning, good afternoon. Ash, good morning, good afternoon. Rodney Reed, good morning, good afternoon. Carmen Forrest, Prospective power. Good morning, good afternoon to everyone. Thank you all for joining us. Rosemary Samuels, good morning, good afternoon. Beat and Teach, Wagwan. The pride of a people. The pride of a people and the ownership of their land. When is Jamaicans, I keep repeating this, when will Jamaicans at home realize that they will have to stand up for something? Where else in this world would you see a government and a parliament in catastrophe and the people stand in silence with their hands folded behind them? Nobody is willing to stand up against tyranny. Then how then do you expect to get rid of the tyranny if no one is willing to stand up to it or stand up against it? Abina Stokie, good morning. Do you think hoping and praying is going to really help our situation? Has it worked so far? Out here, Lacey, Monica Wells, good morning. Has it worked so far? What other approach are you prepared to use? Are you prepared to let the Prime Minister and his wife get away with the catastrophe that our parliament has become? Is the country willing to allow them to throw Marlene Gordon, a long-standing civil servant, under the bus, disgraced her publicly, and everybody is silent? Una not tell Babsy to me sit down patiently and wait. Nobody no see Babsy if you tell Babsy how patiently run one less. Good morning. Nobody no see Babsy to tell Babsy how would they patiently await. Deborah Cohen, morning. For Babsy to say something in support as of another woman, as Minister of Gender and Women's Affairs or whatever her portfolio is. How long are we going to wait for Babsy to speak? Or am I the only mind people business one that think Babsy should say something with regards to all of what went down with Miss Curtis? And me one believe so? Or only one woman in a parliament, you know? Because Nigel came to the defense. The baby father came to the defense. Raymond, good morning. And Tempted Congo. The baby father came to the defense. Nesta Morgan came to the defense. Iselin Blackwood. Babsy Grange came to the defense. I think also Kamina Johnson Simmet, if I'm not mistaken her, but I'm not very sure. But quite a few people came to Juliet Holness's defense. Dion Johnson. What were they defending? Stronger Together. Good morning. What were they defending? They say they were defending Diana Atkins. Misogyny, sexism, and all of the ism Babsy, Nesta, and everybody could come out and brand Mr. Golden with. My question to you all, what are the isms that surrounds the treatment of Miss Curtis? And is it any of the isms that bothers you? Stronger together. Good morning. Thank you. Thank you very much. RJ, good morning. What are the isms, if there is any, surround the treatment of Miss Curtis? And do they bother you, if there are any isms? Do you think it's something that you should speak up against? Just like how you spoke up when Mark Golden spoke about conflict of interest, Paula Shelley. Mark Golden made a conflict of interest argument. Bros, good morning. You all took it and you spun it into every direction you can to use the canceling words and phrases, because those are the words a lot of wanna go around branding people with when they want to cancel them in public. He's sexist. He's a misogynist. He doesn't think women in general can reach in high places, Verona Timpson, unless they're married to powerful men. Carlos Gray. Well, go on, bro. They were making the argument that Mr. Golden is saying women cannot get to this high position unless they're married to powerful men. So was Marissa Dalrymple Filbert married to a powerful man within the parliament is a question to ask. Which was the previous speaker before the baby mother of the prime minister. So how does that sexist argument work that Babsy and others pushed? Miss Curtis, a female in a high office also. Paula Llewellyn in a high office also. How does that misogyny, sexist argument works? Oh, we have to make sure we have a narrative to confuse them and shift them from actually what is being discussed, Monica Harton. Therefore, let us come up with the sexist, misogynist argument while we brand him as a liar. Millie McBean, send back the report immediately after having it for almost 3 months. And then went straight out in public and brand Mr. Golden as a liar. Horace Chang, the criminal, did that. But me see from where there, the new blind anger, you all call him Commish. The new blind anger, I can't tell with how much gun he might find from where there. But compare that 1 grain of sand there, to the whole chop of sand that Horace Strong distributed. I knew about 1 container. How much container of rifles have you brought into the country, Horace Strong, Minister of National Security and Deputy Prime Minister of the country? How much container of these high-powered rifle? Olimar Pressful, good morning. Has Dr. Horace Strong brought into the country? So now come frighten me with your 2 guns, sir. For every 2 gun you find, there's still 2 more hundred out there. Remember, it was the same criminal, Dr. Horace Strong, aligned to gangs and dons across Western Jamaica, particularly in Montego Bay. He told us from his intelligence, not mine, his intelligence, 200 guns per month comes into the country. Dr. Horace Strong said that, not me. You can go and go research the Gleaner. It is still there. If they not pull it down, like how them pull down the article Mr. Golden said it in the Gleaner about the DPP blocking people who ought to be prosecuted in the SSL scandal, fraud. So when you come make with your look at 2 gun, 200 minus 2, don't come fool with. We want the other 98 per month. Where is the other 98 per month? Them that we want to hear about. We don't want to hear about it the 2 now and then. Because we know Dr. Chang carrying container full of it illegally, distributed in garrisons from Flanker to Cambridge and other places. So don't come frighten me with the 2 guns. This won't solve the crime. It won't make a difference, much of a difference, really. There are still a lot out there that not we poor Jamaicans place on the street. You, the business community of Jamaica, the private sector organization of Jamaica, Roots, and the government and the security forces. Poor people, get up, people don't have money to buy a high-powered rifle and bag full of ammunition. They really don't. Joshua Wells on the Twitch, good morning and welcome. Don't frighten me with 2 guns. There's a lot more out there killing off people with put on the street. Poor people don't have money. Poor people picking in the ghetto don't have money to import guns in our country the way it is. Rich people, business people, and people in a high society galang in them there. But because of ongo ghetto people commit crime, only ghetto people are going to get the blame. A poor people pick me alone, I go get the blame. Because a poor people pick me alone create crime. You think poor people picnic can carry in a container with 200 AK-47s? Irvin Palmer, good morning and welcome. This is the problem with our country. The crime in our country is carefully crafted by those in power, those who we expect, to fight crime. This is why you see them going around and they will use the word fostering peace and all of these things, but you never hear them use the word justice. It is not something that really concerns them. And let me tell you all, until we have justice, there's never going to be peace. Peace and love is a consequence of justice. So don't come fool with wooden or gun them. Start arrest politicians and bankers. And then we will believe that you're all serious. But I'm going to play for you now the St. Lucia Beach demonstration. And when we come back, I want you to tell me what is missing from this video. Look carefully and tell me what is missing from this video.
Correct, song. Right is correct. Right can be more correct.
David, I want these pictures to
Hold your fucking ass. Hold your mad ass. A lot of you have spot a lot of things. There's people of all ages there. The people were having fun. Raymond, the people were united. But the main thing I was looking for, quite a few of you spotted. The zeal of barbarity was missing. The zeal of authoritarianism was missing. You all understand now where Jamaica is going? Because if one of we turn up for talk, them ready for arrest we. But that not for deter we. It for even make we push full speed ahead. JP, good morning. EM, good morning, good morning. Who else has arrived? I saw some people. Freedom, good morning. Good morning. Raymond, good morning. OPPS official, good morning. Mary Messenger TV, good morning. Monica Hall, good morning. Vernon Adams, good morning, good morning. Who else has arrived? Jamaicans, we have to do better. Shelton Williams, good morning. We have to do better. We cannot continue to be controlled by criminals. It is time that we have a loud call, a loud stand-up, a loud pushback across the country. Juliet Holness must go, or Parliament is in disrepute, all because of one woman's ownership, one woman's corruption. Are you going to let this slide, Jamaica? What next then? How much more are you, Debbie White, good morning. How much more are you willing to tolerate? Because my God, I'm going to put up with a lot. Turn on a yard. St. Lucia people turn up with them chuck and them music and them bus, and they had a wonderful time. Your constitution provides you a right to assembly, means that you can gather with whoever you want. Your constitution protects that. It protects the right to protest as well. You cannot stand up and talk about your constitutional right and your God-given right, and you cannot stand up to protect them. You're talking about your rights, but no one is willing to stand up to protect their rights. You're willing for these people to tread upon them at their own chosen. The country cannot continue like this. The country cannot continue like this. It is just not sustainable. It is the reason why crime continues to escalate. It is the reason why they've massaged the unemployment figures by not factoring everybody into it who is unemployed. They're factoring those within a little margin that would allow them to massage the figures. They're not looking at people out of work. They're not looking at what we call independent workers. They're not looking at people who have fallen off the system by the wayside. They're not looking at those little rural communities in Jamaica that we know provide no form of employment opportunities at all. This research was more geared to city living. This is why you see government can come out and tell you it's the lowest unemployment figures we've ever had. Because you've massaged it into a particular area of research. So it doesn't look at the island collectively with its employment, with its unemployment issue. We don't only look at a very small area. We can't allow one to tell lies. This government has gotten away with so much, with the people sitting back and allow it to happen. This government or no government is not going to look after you. They're there to look after them and their private sector interests. Yesterday, you had a clear example. This Diaspora bunch of I don't understand what they were talking about. But when you sat through the waffle, you then realize that it was a private sector networking opportunity to see how much business opportunities and how much financial resources that they can tap into diasporans' pocket. If it was really about diasporans at home or abroad, then they would want to do things that would benefit us. But rather more of what we see is the same old treatment. But the Jamaica Consulate has taken over. Sorry. A new location in New York. Patricia Matthews, how are you? Morning. And Jamaicans have to queue outside, in the rain, on the pavement, in the Big Apple. But these are the same Jamaicans you're hoping to invest more with your private sector members. Those are the same people you're expecting. Those who should stand in the rain just to get a document signed or do a document application. But you expect them every weekend or every month or every 2 weeks to make sure we're always lining up at Western Union, Jamaican National, MoneyGram, you are even pound with up, pound with phone. You're just expecting the diaspora to be pumping all that resources. But a common thing as our consulate, we do not have a waiting area, Gloria Morris, in our consulate in New York to be able to seat people inside, Carl Gale, to be able to seat people inside while waiting for document processing in 2024 in New York at the Jamaican consulate. This is your waiting area. I wonder if Audrey Marks, Angela 48349, how you doing? Morning and well, afternoon, how are you? Audrey Marks, Kamina Johnson, Shauna Chin, me go send, even if Shauna Chin see, me go send Shauna Chin that picture, yeah. Because you are one of the diaspora influence in the North America region, are you not? Uno no see this. Uno plan to address it. How Uno go address it? We need to know. You can't have a consulate with a waiting area on the street in cold, wet, rainy, snowy, unpredictable weather, New York. Patrick Evans. So this must also be a focus point for the demonstration coming up next month at New York. Debbie, correct me if I'm wrong. Is it not somewhere close to where this building is that the demonstration is going to be? Correct me, please, Debbie. Jamaicans at home, it has gotten to the point where Jamaicans in the diaspora about half a block away, so quite close, quite close. You should be able to stand from one end and from that location and see that building about a block and a half away, without skyline blocking you. You should be able to see those buildings. Very close, Debbie says. So this must be a focal point of this upcoming demonstration, the treatment of Jamaicans visiting this building. And there must be a call to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Audrey Marks, who is the ambassador. Jean Wright, good morning. Good morning, good afternoon, Maxine Cummins. Answers must be sought from Audrey Marks, from Kamina Johnson Simmet, from Alonzo Terry Bailey, from Shauna Chin, Annie Jones, good morning. These people need to come and answer us. They're asking us to come home. They're asking us to do more business with that confusion yesterday. But hopefully, remember, it is today that the Diaspora conference, hold on there. Jamaica Diaspora Task Force and Intervention Prevention. Look on this, I can't see it when it's on this. So bring it up on my iPad. Sorry, people. Yes, the Jamaica Diaspora Crime Intervention and Prevention Task Force. Today, they will be launching their first biannual online diaspora conference. And this will also have a conference running alongside the conference in June, but it will be purely an online conference. And that would hopefully from this year on run concurrently every 2 years with the, FIDEM Shebang. And everything will be happening on Jeffrey Tavares's Make We Talk TV. So today is that launch of the Diaspora Intervention Task Force. So it takes Jamaicans in the diaspora to be making active. I want you to adjust the point of the man who won't give the lady to beg the opportunities begging. I'm not aware of what you're talking about, Patrick. I want you to adjust the point of the man. Which man I do the begging and which lady them for the me not get involved in people and them begging in us more like people like ladies and so on. Me we go after ladies the reason why is because ladies have the money on the platform where she not come in a people pocket. But if you're talking about other vloggers, me not get involved with them myself. People want to control them money is really up to them. Me not say you can't help people, but I think the audience should be able to know when somebody think to say, to take care of them. But that's another shebang. I don't know if I'm off topic or I misunderstood you. Have I misunderstood you? But Jamaicans at home, we have to start making active move. It is not going to change until we decide that it must change. We're not going to tolerate this anymore. Mota Baruka once said, soon Jamaica will become a landlocked country. We have beaches, but we cannot go on them because they're all private beaches. Look how St. Lucia people respond. Okay. Look how St. Lucia people respond to these imperialists buying a hotel on the beach and erect a sign to say private beach. Look how the people of St. Lucia respond. The whole of Jamaica landlocked, have very few beaches where people have access to, especially upon the northern and western belt of Jamaica. Jamaica people don't have access to those beaches. Yes, we know Jamaica is a corporation, but the private sector in Jamaica has taken away every inch of power and land from the Jamaican people. To the fact where China come for acres and acres of it. Same thing with UNO. Jamaican don't have squatters, landless people. That's what they called you. If them say I try a thing, them buck down your house. If them say I try a thing, them buck down your farm. And you know, see no Jamaican as I wonder if I obia them obia way. What I feel so? When I feel so the wholeness regime obia Jamaicans, because particularly this wholeness regime has really tread upon our rights. May I tell you, if we don't follow the scale since they claim to have got this mandate in 2020, them take some liberty with we. In the galangin there, in the salary galangin, there was a few demonstration. The Donnelly demonstration that break up and come to an end. One of the problems with Jamaican people, Jamaicans are looking for a leader. That's in the olden days. All of us must lead from the front. This is why everybody stall. Because everybody is looking for a leader. Somebody to lead them. All of us must lead from the front. It is confusing for state and government when all of us are leading from the front. When they can pinpoint one away and say that one they are the troublemaker and kill them. When all of us are leading. During the pandemic and lockdown, there was quite an experience of that in Nigeria, where there was a faithless uprising. And that was enhanced by social media. They couldn't target a leader because there was no leader. In London in 2011, I think, London collapsed almost over a weekend period. Not only London, major cities across the United Kingdom, because of a police shooting. In those days, BlackBerry pin was the thing. And BlackBerry pin created an uprising across the United Kingdom. I've watched police lost control of London. Even when themselves sent for help from Kent, from Wales, from Essex, they've lost control of London over a weekend period. At some point when government become too oppressive and repressive, the people have to push back. The people have to show that we are the people and we are the power. But if every time government take an inch, you jaw back a nail, government are come for the nail there too. You have to either stand up in the face of government or push back. Otherwise, you cannot talk about democracy. Otherwise, you cannot talk about freedom of this or freedom of that. Police not go jaw out people from under bed in a democracy for freedom of speech. It just doesn't happen. It only can happen in a country where people are touched with fear. Fear is like petrol for tyrannical government. Your fear is like petrol for tyrannical government. When are you going to stand up for your beaches, Jamaica? When are you going to stand up for your beaches? Are you just willing to give away your sovereignty, your land? You're either going to be pushed in the sea or trapped within the island, unable to have any port access. Europeans across the West are busy buying lands across Africa and the Caribbean. They want private beaches. Are you prepared to give up back those lands to the colonialists who your forefathers fought hard to even make sure we become squatters upon it and not just free labor servants? If you don't do anything, Jamaicans, nothing won't happen. Me, I tell you, if we don't do something, nothing won't happen. Let me tell you from now, there won't be any Drive Time London program this evening. I will be busy this evening, but we'll definitely be back for our, what's it call it, People's Point of View program. But I want to encourage my people at home. Stand up for something. Nobody is going to come and stand up for you. It is your God-given right to claim land. You have a right to land and right to education. But if you don't protect them, look how them mash up with school. I don't think it's by accident. The dunce of them keep we, you know. Are the more likelihood that we now go rise up? That's why it's our job here on social media to make sure in this grand awakening of the planet that you Jamaicans at home become awakening like a lot of other people around the world is waking up to tyranny and autocratic government. And people are standing up to protect the rights and freedoms. Jamaicans, we've been watching you from COVID time. Right across the world, people were pushing back. You were the only ones who relaxedly, complacently accept a rule. Tana your yard. The rule was so stringent that one never allow for come out on a gate, come turn up. Uno accept it. Even when you see people across the West, people in Australia, people in Africa, people in Asia is demonstrating, you sat down peacefully because government said, Tana, your yard. The fear, we have to go deal with that fear, the Jamaica people. the fear they will have honor into submission, Jamaicans, and so we did stay. I saw the world know we feel not afraid of nobody. The world know we feel speak with mind. The world know we feel loud and proud. I want to know. Natalia Wagwan. Want to know, Jamaicans. Look at how St. Lucians are having fun defending their rights. There was no aggression, no anger, no nothing. It was a proper beach party. It was a proper beach party. And my God, Jamaicans just sit down and roll over to anything. So if government telling us to walk out in a sea, look like we're not going to do it. At what point, Jamaicans, we're not going to say, hold your mad horse. Hold your effing horse, like the people of St. Lucia says. When is it going to get to the point where Jamaicans tell the government and the private sector organization who spent up a whole heap of money on shenanigan yesterday just to come promote them products and services to we and see how much more money they can get out of it? When is the people of Jamaica going to tell these people, hold your mad horse? Because the power belongs to us, the people. It is what the people of St. Lucia are saying. I don't matter what you say. I'm going to bathe here anyway. This beach is mine. I can bathe here anytime over my dead body. The people of St. Lucia says. What are you, the beachless, landless people of Jamaica is saying? You landless, beachless people. Where Juliet can buck down on a farm, Andrew can buck down on a house. You ever see them something there in a Jamaica yet? Talk to Jamaicans. You ever see them something there? Where husband and wife are abused. You at the same time? You don't think this serious? When a husband can come buck down your house, a wife buck down your farm, how much, what else on our wait pan Jamaicans? Can't enough to live, on a door for nyam. What else on our wait pan? How much more serious and threatening you expect this to get? We can't continue to live so. We cannot continue to live like this. The rights where we have people fought, bled, and died for it. And we are rolled over too comfortable giving away those power just to one family member. With 40 other crooks in cahoots or in silence with them. Jamaica was better than that. Jamaica was better than that. But the people don't seem to really care about where our country is going. Because if our people care about where the country is going, one government in 2 years couldn't have violated your constitutional rights, your legislative rights, and everything. And nobody is doing or saying anything. This is astonishing. Look at how the St. Lucians react to their beach. That should send a loud and clear message to the people of Jamaica that's saying what is happening there is because of your acceptance and your complacency. You, the people, can change it. You, the people, do not have to settle for it. I want to thank you for being here with us this morning, this afternoon, and the At a Glance program. Please join us back tonight for the People's Point of View. The Drive Time London program will not be aired today as I will be busy, but join us back here tonight. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you very much, Stronger Together, for super chatting the program. Very much appreciated. I will definitely all see you on the other side later. And remember, St. Lucia people said, the beach is mine.
No one needs to pay on my beach. Tell them to give me out the rich. Tell them they can never take it away. Strength and security. You that's the house in this country. Take what I know that the beach belongs to me.